just women, but individuals in a marriage to have financial stability, because honestly, money does make a huge difference with how your relationship and your marriage will work out. Ultimately, it is the lack of money that causes so many issues. And I know people will say, oh, money doesn't bring happiness. Let me tell you, money stops nonsense. And that is part of the reason why we are advocating that you have your own money, or at least you have your own income just before or even before you get into a marriage or a long-term relationship. One of the reasons which I highly advocate for is supporting the family. Now, as a person who just got recently married, I can tell you there are so many things that pop up because of being latched to someone. You get married, it's just the two of you, but never forget, you have their family, you have your family that have now come together to form this large extended family. And if the partner you have, your husband, your wife, used to support their family, those bills are coming onto you as well. And ultimately, if you're doing the same for your family, those bills come upon you as well. And it is very vital for you not to plunder or give that responsibility to just one person. Ultimately, it can be very, very taxing. And even forget the extended family, your own nuclear family, you and your partner and your children. It's very vital that you add value to the family. You pick up one bill or another. In case you're not paying major bills, even being able to buy food and other necessities in the house can be very, very helpful and can give you some semblance of just like USA, and your partner just a moment of like, I don't have to think about nilituma pesa ya chumvi, and even you calling your husband, your wife, asking them for salt, pesa ya chumvi, surely is not going to be a very conducive environment for very long. Ultimately, one person will get resentful, and it can cause even more strife in an early marriage or in a young marriage, for lack of better words. Another thing is you earn a lot of respect from your partner when you contribute financially specifically. This is why we are saying this is true. Look, the simple fact that you have to call someone for every small thing. Imagine you're just chilling at work and your partner calls you and they're like, "Ayo, can you send me money to buy skumas for supper because you've not bought supper?" I've seen many relationships actually getting very, very heated simply because, for example, you were supposed to go out for a party and your partner is supposed to send money for you to take your taxi from point A to point B, or to send money for fuel for you to go from point A to point B, and somehow wherever they are, their phone goes off. Now you cannot leave your house simply because your partner is away. They were the ones who were supposed to have sent you money for you to be able to move out or to get out, and now their phone is off and you can't get a hold of them. Then what? You do not go for that party, you do not go for that event. And that is an annoyance. When someone calls you later and they're like, "Hey, your phone, how did it go off? You know you were supposed to send me money." There's a little bit of just like, surely 2,000, 1,000, 500, 200 ulishindwa kupata ya kwenda hiyo party, ya kwenda hiyo event, ya kwenda hiyo chama. Surely there's a level of respect that comes from being independent and having your own, not having to constantly rely on someone else for every little need and necessity. It is quite the relief. Like the moment you're sitting down and you're asking someone to send you money for, I don't know, a newspaper as a man, or a sanitary towel as a woman, I feel like that is like there's just like a thing. After a while, at first it's cute, but after a while it just starts to look like, surely atawewe. Another one which is very interesting is the right to contribute in decision making. Oftentimes when it comes to making huge decisions about your life, not just huge decisions but any decisions whatsoever, are we moving out? I don't like this house, let's move to a different house. I feel like this house is too small, let's get to another house. Now the decision of what house you will be moving into will highly be determined by the person who's contributing. For example, my capacity right now is to move from a house of 5k to move into a house of maybe 20k. I got a raise, my biashara is working out, whatever. But if my partner also has that extra 20k and we combine, we now have the ability to move to a house 40,000. You know what I'm saying? But when it is just one person who has this 20k, And then you're trying to tell them, no, actually, I wanted to move into that house for 40K, and I feel like that's the house you want. They're like, okay, I can't afford that. What now? So you end up just being okay with moving to the 20K house. Why? Because you do not have the finances to back up what you want. And this goes across board. If you want to go visit your parents in Gishagi and your partner says, you know what, I don't want to go this time, I want to stay at home, I want to party here, I want to have the Christmas here, I don't want to go to Gishagi, and they're the ones funding that trip, guess what, you're staying home. And that is just the reality of matters. If you cannot contribute financially, you are stopped and blocked from making decisions, simply because if we don't do it your way, what are you going to do? You are going to still listen to me and do what I want anyway. It can create an element of extreme control between partners as well, which is always a sign of a bad situation about to happen. And that actually is standing up for yourself. Oftentimes, if you are being controlled financially or economically by your partner, it becomes very difficult for you to actually get out of that situation. We've seen women and men in very, very horribly abusive relationships being stuck. Your wife has cheated on you, your husband has cheated on you, but they were the ones taking care of the rent, they're the ones taking care of the children's school fees, they're the ones taking care of your regular day-to-day bills, they're the ones taking care of your your children's bills, they're the ones pretty much controlling all the finances in your household. And now they've cheated on you. What are you going to do? And here we are telling you, leave him, it's mango season, man must go, but you have no ability to leave. What does that leave you in? It still leaves you in a situation of financial abuse and whatever form of abuse that you're going through, simply because you cannot stand up for yourself. You can't say, no, that was not right, you shouldn't have done that. Why? Because you are depending on them to give you your meal for dinner. You cannot stand up to anyone who provides for you. It just becomes a difficult situation. And another thing that happens quite a bit, you end up having a very huge personal growth and fulfillment in your own life when you have your own steady source of income, or any income source. It doesn't have to be steady. When you have some income coming your way, you have your 500 bob, you have your 10,000, you have your 50,000. Guess what? That 50,000 can be used to go for a girls' night, can be used to go for a boys' night, can be used to, just hang out with your family. You can send it back home. You can assist other people in need. Your friend is in trouble, they need some money, you can be able to assist them with it. It just gives you that level of like, oh my god, I can actually do this. I don't need to call anyone to help out here. I can do this on my own. I can make a huge purchase. I can decide, hey, I'll take our family on vacation. Why? You have the money to do it. That level of just self-fulfillment, oh, such a beautiful thing. And ultimately, there is a sense of security and independence that comes with having your own income before you get in a marriage or before you get in a long-term relationship. Now, there's a level of independence that comes from having money. There's a level of sorting out unforeseen circumstances. For example, your husband gets sick, your wife gets sick, she's been the provider for your family. Now what do? They're in hospital, they're in a coma, God forbid. They're in a bad health situation, and you have to pay for things. How are you going to pay for them without the money? How are you going to be able to take care of them without the money? Your house has been flooded suddenly, and all the money that you had before has been used up for something else. What are you going to do? If you have your extra money somewhere, guess what? We can be able to actually have a backup plan. If you have an emergency fund, if you have any form of financial aid that is outside of your partner, it can really be helpful. And additionally, you just having your own money makes you feel respected, makes you feel like life has balance. It allows for your relationship not to feel like a leech trying to borrow. It's like you need this person for you to survive, and therefore your relationship will never feel like it's just love and commitment to each other. It will always feel like they just want me around because I take care of the bills. That's just the reality of matters. Anyway, these are our points when it comes to the reasons why you need to get your own income before you get married. And if you have any others, let us know on 0770-729-366 or hit me up on my DMs at Kathomi on TikTok and on Instagram. And until next week, same time, same place, don't forget to wish Turi a quick recovery. I'll see you then.